Do you ever feel like someone is manipulating you? That's because they probably are. And chances are that someone is actually a narcissist. But don't worry, because that can stop now. In this video, we're going to teach you how to take back your power and stay unfazed by narcissists. Whether it's a toxic family member, friend, or partner, understanding how to interact with narcissists is essential for your mental well-being. The truth is, these people will deliberately push your buttons just to provoke a reaction. And when you respond in ways that don't serve you, it backfires on you. Meanwhile, it feeds into their need for attention. Think of it like giving drugs to a junkie. You know they'll keep coming back to you for more, right? And before you know it, the situation spirals further, and your frustration only continues to grow. Now, let's talk about how you can stay unfazed by a narcissist's tricks. When dealing with a narcissist, most people have the same reaction, which we can call emotion over mind. It's when your emotions take the wheel, completely overpowering logic, and you end up feeling swept away by them. In your encounters with a narcissist, feelings like frustration, anger, or even sadness, for example, can cloud your judgment. This then makes it difficult for you to approach the situation rationally. Since your emotions dominate you, instead of pausing to analyze a narcissist's actions, it often leads you to react impulsively, which might not serve your best interests in the long run. Now, we know being emotional is a natural response to feeling hurt or attacked, and that's what narcissists do best. But remember, this is exactly what they want. They thrive on your emotional reactions and will do anything to get a rise out of you. So, letting your emotions take over your logic in response to a narcissist's actions is less than ideal. Here's an example. Imagine dealing with a narcissist who thinks they know everything. They spew out wild opinions and insist on calling the shots, whether it involves something big or totally insignificant. The problem? You know they're wrong. But the moment you call them out, they somehow twist the situation around to make you look like it's you who has the wrong opinion and that they're right. That can be exhausting, right? Especially when it keeps happening over and over again. Or maybe you're dealing with a narcissist who loves throwing out wild accusations about you or twisting the truth about what you've done. They might spin things to make you look bad to others. This can leave you feeling emotionally drained or triggered. To be clear, it's completely valid to feel whatever you feel when a narcissist acts out and makes you the target of their tricks. The thing about narcissists is they're just plain unreasonable. Their actions and beliefs aren't based on logic. They come from emotional immaturity and irrational thinking. A lot of what they do doesn't make sense, and that lack of emotional maturity is what drives their behavior. This is why if you react emotionally and engage with them on their level, you're basically stepping into their trap and playing by their rules. So, it's important to approach the situation with pragmatism. This means looking at the situation with a cool head and focusing on finding a solution, rather than getting caught up in the drama. Or simply put, let your mind rule over your emotions. But before we do a deep dive into it, by the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. If you're going to develop the ability to not be triggered by the narcissist, the mind over emotion tactic is the trick you're going to have to master. Why? When you're dealing with a narcissist, trying to convince them of your viewpoint or reason with them is almost always a waste of time. After all, the chances of changing their mind are pretty much zero. Narcissists aren't exactly known for changing their ways or seeing things from anyone else's point of view. Listening isn't their strong suit either, since a lack of empathy is a big part of who they are. Instead, they're pros at arguing, being condescending, and refusing to cooperate. Think about it. When's the last time you heard a narcissist say, "Good point," or, "Wow, I'm so glad you're helping me figure this out"? Probably never. Even asking questions to make them reflect or think deeper usually goes nowhere. It's just not worth the effort. So, if you let your emotions take over when dealing with such a person, the conversation will likely spiral out of control, leaving you feeling drained and defeated. You may even end up saying or doing things that go against your better judgment. Meanwhile, the narcissist will feel validated and in control because they got a reaction out of you, which, if you remember, is their goal. Worse, this makes it easier for them to paint themselves as the victim while you're the villain. It then leads them to continue their manipulative tactics towards you. That's why when a narcissist seems to be using one of their tactics on you, it's so important to step back, keep your emotions in check, and look at the situation with a clear head. We know this is easier said than done. So, here's a tip for you. Embrace the idea of what we call delicate detachment. Think of it as a gentle way of letting go without being harsh or hurtful. You take a calm, clear approach by focusing on the facts and using simple, logical reasoning. When you're dealing with a narcissist, letting your mind rule over your emotions is all about staying calm and telling yourself a few key reminders, saying things like, "Stay cool. Don't get too caught up emotionally with these narcissists. It's not worth it. Getting upset or shocked by their behavior doesn't help, so I'm just not going to let that emotion consume me anymore. That reaction only drains me, and I'm done letting it take my energy. I don't need to stay on guard all the time or be defensive either. There's no point living like that. And I'm not going to slip into anger or hatred because that just makes me act like them, and I don't want that. There's no need to argue over everything. Even when I feel frustrated towards them, I won't let my feelings take over or make me forget who I am." This now makes you less reactive to a narcissist's tricks, and as a result, it's easier for you to give dull and disinterested responses to them, which is not what they want. Ultimately, the mind over emotion tactic can help you stay in control and prevent the narcissists from getting the emotional reaction they crave. Earlier, we mentioned that narcissists tend to repeat their manipulative tactics. This then makes it possible for you to rehearse how you'd react the next time you have to deal with them. How? Think of situations with the narcissist that tend to push your buttons. Take a moment to reflect on these moments and figure out what you need to keep in mind so you won't instinctively react emotionally when the same situation comes up. Once that's done, practice handling the situation with a calm, logical approach. This way, your rational side can lead the way instead of your emotions taking over. To be clear, this approach won't completely get rid of your feelings, but it'll help you stay in control and respond more thoughtfully when you're being provoked by a narcissist. Dealing with a narcissist can be tough, but it's one of those situations where you really can't let your emotions take over. If you do, you'll just get caught up in the chaos and end up letting them win. Trust us, it's not worth it. You'll only find yourself struggling with their manipulative tactics and feeling worse in the end. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to like this video to let the algorithm know you'd like to see more videos like these.